Hello, my name is Jorge Samartin, and I will be presenting a presentation on building an effective team. This is for my Leadership and Teams course. Today is May 1st, 2018, and this is Deliverable 4. Team effectiveness can be measured by assessing different elements of a team. Leaders need to have the ability to assess the situation and diagnose what's occurring in order to intervene and solve the problem before it gets out of hand. Leaders need to be engaged amongst the team to be able to increase involvement and engagement of the team members. These are some of the team building methods that will help achieve team effectiveness in the workplace. If a leader notices a team member is not working with others, the leader needs to investigate why. This is called assessing the individual behavior. Leaders need to find out whether it's a personal conflict, is it a misunderstanding, or is it something else? One possibility is that there is a mismatch of the individual's skill sets. Therefore, additional training might be necessary. Also, leaders need to complement each member's skills. Bringing people who have different skill sets that complement each other together can help drive team effectiveness. When members see and understand how and why they were brought together, it can promote trust and respect amongst them. It can also increase motivation. Also, it's important to assess the individual behavior, the structural elements, and interdependent behaviors. These are strategies that the leader can take to improve the effectiveness. By regrouping, it can help clarify the mission. It can also let new members who join have the clear expectations that they um, need in order to achieve effectiveness in the team. Second, again, setting or clarifying goals can help with the team moving forward when everyone's views are coming together so that they can achieve the goals. Progress reviews are necessary as well because this helps to conduct through the process, not just at the beginning or at the end, but it can help the team stay on track. Next, I'm going to be talking about norms, structure, and how this can have an impact on the team. Teams progress through a series of stages as they develop. These stages are forming, storming, norming, performing, and a journey. Norms that can help the team. Our leaders need to influence the strengths of the team members. Encouraging everyone to use their strengths is important. Commitments and appreciation. Verbal recognition during a meeting, for example, is a small example of how leaders can show appreciation to their team members. Creativity. It's important to encourage creativity and celebrate the milestones. Back and forth. Expect some back and forth, especially within the storming and norming as these new goals are created. Motivation. It's important to recognize as a leader that the team needs to be motivated in order to reach the performing stages. So structure needs to also be implemented because when setting a structure in the team, it usually allows for the team to work together towards a common goal and share responsibility for the team's successes. Ways of implementing the structure is by setting task orientation, interdependence, setting a purpose, and member familiarity. I'm going to talk about how internal and external dynamics can also have an impact on team effectiveness. Dynamics is actually the effects of roles and behaviors of the other group members and of the group as a whole. Effective leadership entails that the leader needs to be able to guide the members into making decisions. Therefore, when a team trusts each other and they can all work collaboratively towards, or excuse me, they can all work together towards a decision-making process, they can together collaboratively bring ideas and hold each other accountable so that the team can achieve success. There is positive dynamics in which can help lead the team to more creativity and innovation. There's also negative dynamics. This can cause disruptive behavior, poor lack of decision making, and poor lack of leadership. Positive dynamics, though, begins with the leader. So the leaders need to do whatever they can to be able to implement a positive dynamic amongst the team. There are some social roles that exist within internal dynamics. These are harmonizer, a compromiser, and a commentator. A harmonizer provides affirmation, support, and praise to the team's efforts. In essence, to provide harmony to the entire team. A compromiser, a compromiser will change their position for the good of the team. Sometimes this can be a necessity. Otherwise, a standoff might occur. And commentator. Feedback is crucial, especially during the decision-making process. Teams are not limited to just internal dynamics, though. Members of a team also develop roles for the external functioning of the team. For example, a team may take on the role of disseminating information externally to others. External roles exist such as a buffer, an advisor, a gatekeeper, coordinator, or a strategist. Challenges can occur through external dynamics, such as overload. When members are asked to do too much work inside or outside the team, overloads can occur, which can cause stress. Next, I'm going to talk about the impact of selecting the right team members. Leaders need to be able to select the right team members. And how they can do this is in a couple different ways. First, they need to consider whether or not the team members have technical expertise, whether they have the task management skills and the interpersonal skills. Technical expertise is people who have shown that they demonstrated competency to perform the technical expertise necessary for the job. Task management. Members need to be able to manage their own work and work of the team, but the team efforts need to be coordinated and near goals need to be set and plans need to be initiated. And lastly, with interpersonal skills, must remember that the team is made up of people, and those thoughts, opinions, and issues come first before the team. There's an eight-step checklist as well that they can follow in order to hire the right team members. First, project task. Two, requirements. Then human resources, communication, management, list, select, and evaluate. If leaders follow these 8 steps in this checklist, they will be able to hire the right team members for the team. Leaders need to never forget that they need to consider how each team member will fit in the team environment. Next, I'm going to talk about the impact that team diversity has in the team. Team diversity consists of a group of people that come from diverse backgrounds, religions, ages, etc. Team diversity is crucial to have in any team because it enhances collaboration and cohesiveness amongst team members. When you have a team that comes from a diverse background, it can provide different perspectives of doing things. Many different ideas are brought to the table. Therefore, when you bring all this to the table and you have the right engagement of team members, it can increase effectiveness in the workplace. Lastly, sometimes a team needs coaching. Leaders must never forget that team members sometimes need to be coached. A leader needs to be able to coach the team or individual members within the team when it's necessary. Coaching can be defined within these three elements. Those three elements are functions, times, conditions, and for the team, coaching to be effective, this team must be well designed and supported by the organization. Coaching should only be introduced to the team when the team can be handled, or excuse me, when the team can handle being coached. Because otherwise, it can also have a negative impact if it's not done the right way. These are my references, and thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my presentation today.